Hey guys, it's me, and today I'm going to be reviewing Fate, the Winx Saga. I don't know if it's saga. I always see that word and that's why I always think it is. But I feel like it's wrong every time I say it, so I prefer not to say that word. I don't know why. But let's get into the video. So far I've only watched one episode, and I will review the show again when I finish the show. So when I was a kid, I did watch a couple episodes of the cartoon, but like I never was like super into it or anything, so I never watched it. I maybe watched like 7 or 8 episodes. So I'm not going to be able to compare what they did better with the show than what they do with the cartoon, or like how they did with the characters or the storyline or anything. So I'm not going to be talking about any of that because I don't feel like I'm qualified enough to talk about that. Okay, so I just want to get this one thought out of the way in the beginning. So I literally started the episode and I like saw it and I was like, wait, wasn't that cartoon I kind of watched? So I started it and I was like, oh, this is probably going to be a kid's show. I was wrong. It's definitely made for teenagers who are like, watched the show when they were kids to make it more interesting to them now. So that way it's like, oh my gosh, like kind of how they did with Dora. I watched that movie because I used to watch Dora when I was a kid, and it was actually a pretty good movie. Okay, so the next thing that I want to talk about is the story. So the story of the episode was really, really good. They actually put a lot of context into it, but it was good because it was a 53-minute long episode. But I think that they showed the characters really well and introduced them, and it wasn't like dragging on to where you're like, okay, this episode is so long, could you just get to the point already? They did it was just good throughout the whole thing. Like, there wasn't a moment where I was like, oh, I don't really want to watch this anymore, I'm getting bored. Like, I kept wanting to be like, oh, what's gonna happen? And even when you're getting to know the characters more, it was just like, oh, this is interesting, and it wasn't like, oh, I need everything to be action. It was still really good. Okay, so now I want to talk about the characters. I don't remember what the first show was like, honestly. Like, I remember a little bits, but not much. So I'm just going off of what I think of now. So I really, really like this girl. I don't know what her name is. I don't know what any of the characters' name is except Bloom, because they say it a million times, which is fine. Because literally, I don't remember people's names. I have to watch like 4 or 5 seasons to get everyone's name down, and then they add a new character. I'm like, what's your name? But I really like this character, and then I don't really have any like specific opinions on the other characters. Okay, so now I want to talk about the intro because I totally skipped over that. So the intro is only like 6 or 7 seconds long. It's really not that long. It has a cute like song to it. Honestly, at this point, I watched it like a couple days ago. I don't remember what it was, like the actual music, but I remember it being good. And then the background of it is a pair of wings that changes into the different elements, and I think that it was super, super pretty. And the intro wasn't so long to where you're like, oh, that's a really annoying intro. But also, I do really like long intros that are like super catchy, like the Office theme song or like Gravity Falls or something like that. I don't know, something that like you could sing along to. I still love intros to the show, but after a while I tend to skip them anymore, especially if I'm on Netflix or Disney Plus. I give the intro an 8 out of 10. Oh, also, I want to apologize for my last, like, 2 or 3 videos. I don't remember how many I posted, but I filmed them all on the same day, and I had a black blanket in the background, and for some reason on my phone it looked fine, and, like, my face wasn't super washed out, but, like, when I started editing it and, like, putting the videos, like, I put them into Google Photos and then transferred them to my computer so I can edit it, but then it just looked so bad, and my face looked so washed out, and, like, I was just like, oh, this looks horrible. So I hope this looks better because on my phone it still looks good. So I don't know what else to do then. Okay, so cinematography. Nothing stood out there like when you're watching it like, oh my gosh, that's so pretty. It's just kind of like, okay, but the scenes flow really well into each other. It's not like when you're watching a movie or a TV show and like you just notice when the scenes change, like because of just how when the different times or whatever, you don't really notice it all. They just flow really well. But overall, I give the cinematography a 7 just because nothing really stood out that much. Okay, so when I wrote my notes, I had only watched 1 episode. I have watched 2 or 3 episodes, I don't really remember. But my views have changed on how old you should be. Honestly, when I wrote it, I thought a 13-year-old would be fine watching it. But now, I would say like a 14 or 15-year-old would be able to watch it. Just because like there are some more adultish stuff. It's not like like super adult at all. But at least so far, there is smoking and vaping and drinking in one episode. Not in one episode, like it's in multiple episodes. There are creepy things that happen. It's just kind of scary. Like, honestly, I was a little bit scared, but I went to bed and watched it at 3 a.m., so that's probably my fault. But then, like, there's a lot of blood in a few specific scenes. It's not in every scene, but there is a lot of blood and, like, gore. It's like, and it's not very violent, but I don't know how it's going to get in the future. But there are some scenes that when I see them, I'm like, oh, that's gross, and it's really bloody in those few scenes, but the rest of the show, there isn't any blood. So far, I haven't heard any swearing. There might, oh wait, no, they did swear twice, I think, in the show, but I don't remember any other swearing, and it wasn't, like, horrible or anything. So, but that's my opinion on that. Make your own decisions. If you're the parent or you're the kid, do what you think is best for you. You don't have to go off what I think. I totally forgot to watch the outro because I just kind of skipped the next episode and then the next one, and then I had to go to bed. But yeah, so I have no idea what the outro is like. Next time I watch the show, I will watch it again. I give the show a 10 out of 10. Honestly, it is a great show, and I keep wanting to watch the next episode. It's one of those shows where it really grabs your attention and you want to watch the next one. It's kind of like Stranger Things, like, in that way. Like how when you watch the first episode, you're like, oh, that was good, and then you watch the next one and the next one, and then you just realize you watched the entire show. It also could just be me that I like the show, but I really do like it, so I give it a 10 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!